Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for being here with us. We've come again seeking your glory, your purpose, your way. We want to follow you. We want to learn more about your righteousness and your truth. And so, Father, we ask that you'll help us uncover these important deceptions that we might see the truth more clearly. Walk with us tonight through the work of your Holy Spirit, please, in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Well, rather than just some simple presidential history tonight, we'll have another precedent. Thomas Jefferson was the first president to purchase land for the United States. That, of course, is the Louisiana Purchase. This comes, from France. Napoleon Bonaparte, around 1803, is getting tired of trying to establish colonies and settlements in the New World. And so he is starting to try to focus his attention on his wars in Europe. He is planning at this point an invasion, a heavy invasion of Britain. That never happens, but he's planning that invasion of Britain. And so he is willing to sell this land. To him, it was worthless. He's wanting to sell this land. And so the United States, under the work of Thomas Jefferson, was able to purchase all of that land for $18 per square mile. Definitely a financial steal, wasn't it? But the problem for Thomas Jefferson is that he made these decisions with his own appointed negotiators by himself. He did not involve Congress, the Senate. There was no votes. He signed, sealed, and delivered this deal all on his own, which made Congress very upset. They said, you don't have that kind of power. Now, this is really interesting to Thomas Jefferson history because he ran on the principle, on the promise that George Washington and John Adams had elevated the role of the president too high, that they had too much authority, and he made the promise that he was going to lessen the authority of the executive branch. And then he goes off and pulls off one of the largest purchase in American history without Congress. He was called a hypocrite and all kinds of names, and he would go on to basically admit that this wasn't right when he said this. He said, I stretched the Constitution so far, I nearly cracked it. He did take it upon himself, and he stretched the law. The law is the law. And in America, the Constitution is the law. It is the ultimate law. It is the top law. All of our laws and policies in our country are supposed to, at least, they're supposed to hang on the tenets of the U.S. Constitution. But of course, we all love to stretch the law a little bit, don't we? I have to go to Phoenix often, once a month for work. My son, 15-year-old son, goes to school there, and so I have to drive up. In fact, in 2 weeks, I have to go to Phoenix 4 times in a week. So I have to go often to Phoenix. I don't usually plan it that way. It just all these meetings fell in 1 week's time. But the speed limit is 75. We all like to stretch the law a little bit. I don't want a speeding ticket. I don't want to get pulled over. But I want to go as fast as I can without putting a bullseye on my vehicle, right? We all try to stretch the law a little bit. That is okay, I guess, in some ways. But when it comes to God's laws and God's paths, our human nature is to try to stretch it as well. Well, what does God really mean? How far can I really take this? What can I do where God will still allow this action or this principle? And we learn that the Antichrist has no desire to even stretch the law. His desire is just to change the law. He just wants to do a whole 180 and take the law somewhere else. You remember this verse? We've read it now multiple times. Daniel 7:25. It's not even the last time in the series we'll look at it, but let's notice it again. He shall speak pompous words, those blasphemous words against the Most High, shall persecute the saints of the Most High, and then tonight's focus, shall intend to change times and law. Then the saint shall be given into his hand for a time and times and half a time. And I've made the promise. We will stick to it. We will get to that section later this week. But today, we're going to talk about his desire, his hope, his intention to change times and law. And of course, as we have specified multiple times, there's only one of the 10 commandments that specifically deals with time, and that's the Sabbath commandment. We often hear from people in Christianity within the church that the law was either done away with. We've discussed that. That's not true. But also we hear from people that the law was changed, that the new Sabbath, the Christian Sabbath, is the first day of the week, is Sunday. You remember this verse from Matthew when Jesus is speaking on the Sermon on the Mount? We read verse 18 already, and then we'll add verse 19 this evening. For assuredly, now notice, I say to you, this is not Pastor Phil opinion, church denomination opinion, interpretation. Who is speaking? Jesus. This is a thus saith the Lord here, right? For assuredly, I say to you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot, one tittle will by no means pass from the law till all is fulfilled. Whoever therefore breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches men so shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does and teaches them, he shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. We covered verse 18 in great detail already. You remember this, one jot, one tittle, those little tiny details. The jot is equivalent to the circle on top of a J. The tittle's a slash on a T in the Hebrew language. God is saying, Jesus is saying, nothing has changed, not even those little tiny minute details. Everything is for sure. But he also adds then to that a prophecy. People will teach that we can break one of them, the least of them. Maybe since none of the laws are least to God, maybe the idea of how people value the 10 Commandments. And have we noticed that the Christian world today values one of the 10 Commandments as the least? It's not that important. You can keep any day, whatever day. You can choose a day best on your schedule as long as you're keeping one of the 7 days. And so they have relegated it. They've cast the truth to the ground, and they treat it as one of the least of these. And Jesus says that's going to be a terrible thing for them to do that, to honor it that way, or to even teach people to do so. He's warning us about this that would take place in the Christian world, in the kingdom of heaven. How do we know, other than this, that not one jot or tittle will change? Well, do you remember what it was written on and who wrote it? Exodus 31:18, and when he, that's God, had made an end of speaking with him, Moses, on Mount Sinai, he gave Moses 2 tablets of the testimony, tablets of stone, written with the finger of God. Ever wonder why there's 2 tablets? Couldn't it have just been 1 tablet? Certainly. Why did God choose 2 tablets? Because as we learned, the first 4 teach us how to love God. The last 6 teach us how to love others. And where is the Sabbath commandment? It's on that first tablet. On stone, written by the finger of God. Just shortly after this, of course, Moses comes down. He sees the people of Israel worshiping a golden calf. Do you remember what he does with these 2 tablets? He takes them and throws them down to teach them that they have broken the 10 commandments. And then he's got to go back up the hill, back to God, and tell him, I've broken the 10 commandments. And other than the fact that Moses has to go get 2 new tablets, it's God, again it says, who writes with his own finger on the stone. Written in stone, it was permanent. It was eternal. The law of God written on stone so that 1 jot, 1 tittles can't accidentally change. No smudge marks, no accidental changes, nothing. Nothing could be discussed of, well, what if this or what if that? No, it's written on stone. And of course, as we learned, and I want you to keep this perspective as we study tonight, we are not saved by the law. Amen? Understand? We have talked about that in great conversations and great details. We are not saved by the law. We are saved through Jesus Christ, and because we're saved, we want to keep the law, because, as Jesus says in John 14, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. And that's not a New Testament principle alone. That is an Old Testament principle. Again, going back to something we've learned, remember the introduction to the Ten Commandments. We often forget that there's an introduction to it. Exodus 20, verse 2. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Who wrote it? God. Who used their finger? God. Who decided how to be on stone? God. And who saves? Jesus saves. God saves, right? And he introduces himself at the beginning of the law. Here is who I am. I'm your Savior. I'm your Redeemer. And because I'm your Savior, thou shalt have no other gods before me. The context of the Ten Commandments is that at each of the 10, it is, I am the Lord God who has saved you, and because I've saved you, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. I am the Lord your God, I have saved you, and because I saved you, thou shalt not commit adultery, or all the way through the laws. It's all because he has saved us that he wants us to then obey him, because he can then lead us safely to eternity. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's Old Testament. I've never been saved from bondage. I wasn't a slave in Egypt. Well, no, we're not slaves in Egypt, but we were slaves, weren't we? Romans 6:6. Knowing this, that our old man was crucified with him, that the body of sin might be done away with, that we should no longer be slaves of sin. Jesus saves. Jesus forgives. But does that allow us then, because he's going to forgive us, does that excuse us to sin? To keep on sinning? Well, who cares? I can just keep on doing those sins. He's going to forgive me anyway. No, we're not supposed to be a slave to sin anymore. He has saved us from sin, and the law defines sin, it teaches sin, and it's telling us how to stay away from sin. In fact, just a chapter later, Paul brings up the law. Romans 7:22, he says this, for I delight in the law of God according to the inward man, according to his spirit, his heart, his mind, his desires to follow God. In that desire to follow God, he says, I delight in the law of God. Remember, the Bible is written by the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. This is not just a personal feeling of Paul. There's no private interpretation. This is how the person of God, the child of God, the follower of Christ, the Christian should feel. We should all feel this way, that when we look at the law, we delight to keep it. We desire to want to follow his righteousness. It's very against our nature. As we talk about, we want to stretch the law. We want to bend the law. We want to work around the law. But that's the flesh. The Christian heart, the follower of Christ, delights in obedience because we love him and we trust him. He knows the path. He knows the way. And by honoring him, we're showing him that he's an authority in our lives, that we love and trust him to the point of obedience. That's an important part of what we're going to learn this evening. But it brings us to precedent number 12, the idea that many believe and teach, and we're going to test it tonight, the idea that Sunday is sacred. You know, this whole idea that Sunday is sacred is a precedent in the United States. It has always been a part of the United States. The United States, I mean, there's apple pie, there's baseball, and there's Sunday. Sunday sacredness, right? Even in presidential history, do you recognize this president? I know you're quickly thinking about all the different presidents. One of our morning people came in with a ruler the other day, and on the ruler were all the pictures of the different presidents. And so I asked her this morning, is he on your ruler? Well, she didn't have it today, but none of us could remember this president. This is David Atchison. Do you know the name? Is he one of our presidents? He was a president of the United States for one day. Now, he wasn't sworn in. He did not take the oath of office. That's why we don't count him in the official line of presidents. However, Zachary Taylor, a strong Episcopalian, was going to be inaugurated 1849, but March 4th fell on a Sunday. Now, he's following James Polk, and we've talked a little bit about Polk before, and we'll talk about him some more. But what you need to know for this story is that Polk did not want to continue even a day. In fact, he left a day early. March 3rd, Polk was already out of the White House and off to retirement. He had made a promise that he was going to do one term, and that's it. And so when his day was up, I'm out. Well, Zachary Taylor's like, I'm an Episcopalian. Sunday is sacred. I'm not going to be inaugurated on a Sunday. Polk, can you please stay one extra day? Nope. And so it was decided for that one day, David Atchison would sit in the White House pretending to be the president. It even says it on the nameplate of his grave marker. David Rice Atchison, President of the United States for one day. Sunday, March 4th, 1849. The fact that the inauguration day falls on a Sunday has happened in 1821, 1877, 1917, 1957, 1985, and 2013. It will do it again in 2041, but please, everyone, let's pray that we're in heaven by then. Okay? But of course, before now, we have revised the inauguration day according to the Constitution during the time of Truman. We've talked about that already. And so now it's written into our Constitution. Before then, there was no guidance if it fell on a Sunday. But now it is in our Constitution that if Inauguration Day falls on a Sunday, it is automatically going to be done on Monday. Now, while the Constitution does not literally have the line, Sunday is sacred, it has that spirit, doesn't it? Sunday is a sacred day, and we're not going to do our inauguration days on Sunday. We're going to do it on Monday. Because again, it is a precedent in our culture. Sunday is really important in the United States of America. This goes all the way back to the earliest European settlers. They'd build a town, they'd build a church, and on Sundays they would spend the whole entire day, other than a short lunch break, the whole entire day, it was required by law that you would be in church all morning, short break, all afternoon, and into the evening. By their law, if you were found not in church, if you were working, you could be put in the stocks, tortured, or even killed in ancient America. Not ancient, but in early America. Sunday has always been a strong tradition, and it's still around today. We've got restaurants and stores that are closed on Sunday. We have the most sacred day of all in America, and that is Super Bowl Sunday. Most states, almost all states, I believe, somewhere on the books have a blue law. Now, blue law is that there's no work allowed on Sundays. They're just not enforced right now, but we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But most counties have dry blue laws on Sundays, some saying you can't buy alcohol at any point on Sunday, and some just say that you can't buy alcohol on Sunday mornings, but as soon as it's noon, you can come on through. Now, we lived in northeast Arizona for a while, and we would shop in Gallup, New Mexico, and when we would go to Gallup on Sunday mornings, we weren't buying alcohol, but it was literally gated off, and it says closed on Sundays in Walmart. You could not get into that area on a Sunday. It's a big part of our culture. It always has been, and it will be a key issue at the end of time. Let's notice what the Catholic Online Encyclopedia New Advent says about Sunday. It says, for Christians, Sunday began to take the place of the Jewish Sabbath in apostolic times. That means the book of Acts. And as the day set apart for the public and solemn worship of God. You catch a very important phrase in that? Takes the place of. Remember, we learned antichrist does not mean against Christ. It is against Christ, but it doesn't mean against Christ. It means to take the place of Christ, the substitute Christ. And here we have the seventh-day Sabbath, and they tell us that Sunday is the anti-Sabbath. It takes the place of the Sabbath. And is it a part of apostolic times? We're going to test that this evening before we're done. The history of Sunday keeping within Christianity does not pop up during the book of Acts. We'll discuss that here in a bit. But shortly after the apostles, it starts becoming an issue. And for a while, Christians are either keeping both. That's the birth of the weekend, by the way, for today in our culture. Why do we have a weekend? It's Saturday and Sunday, right? But often, some Christians would choose Sunday, some Christians chose Saturday, and there was a lot of debate going on, and so they would turn to the religious leaders and say, give us some clarity. Well, by 363, at the Council of Laodicea, the Christian leadership decided to get together and to hammer this out. And they came to a decision that no one should keep the seventh-day Sabbath, that everyone should be united on Sunday. But notice what Canon 29 of the Council of Laodicea says. Christians must not Judaize, that means shouldn't be like a Jew, by resting on the Sabbath, but must work on that day, rather honoring the Lord's Day. We're going to test that in the Bible as well here before the evening's over. Is Sunday the Lord's Day? And if they can, resting then as Christians. Now notice what it says. But if anyone should be found to be Judaizers, let them be anathema from Christ. That means rejected by Christ. Well, more specifically, harshly, it means to be damned by Christ. They decided, by the way, it shouldn't be overpassed that it's the Council of Laodicea. And Laodicea is one of those churches in the book of Revelation who's known for being lukewarm. They mix hot and cold. And that's what's happening in the church. They're starting to compromise and mix truth with error. But at the Council of Laodicea, what was the deciding vote? Why did they go with Sunday instead of Saturday? Was it because of Bible doctrine, Bible verses? Are there any Bible verses in that canon? It doesn't say because Paul did or because Peter did. It says, don't you be a Jew. And not just, in some nice way. This was derogatory. You can't be found Judaizing on that day. It was racism that built this idea. This bias, this idea that they had against the Jewish people. We don't want to be like them, and so we're going to reject the Sabbath, which, did we test that already? Is the Sabbath a Jewish institution? No. Even in the time when it was given to the Jews, they were told to share it with the world. It was always for everyone. It's a world institution. But that's the birth. But here's an interesting thing about this council. They did want you to do something on the Sabbath. They didn't want you resting. They're very clear. We want you working, and you can't rest on that day. But notice what else they say you can do or should do on the Sabbath. Canon 16. The Gospels are to be read on the Sabbath with the other scriptures. It's interesting that they tell the people, you can sit down and read the Bible on the Sabbath. And then 13 canons later say, don't you dare sit down. You better work all day or you will be rejected and damned by Christ. What are they really saying in these two? Don't read the Bible. Why not? Because this is a cover-up. This isn't even a conspiracy. This is a cover-up. They don't want you to test their doctrines and their decisions by the Bible. So they're really saying, you can read the Bible on that day, but you better not sit down and do anything. You better work all day. trying to keep you busy. And we live in a culture today, when you try to invite someone to church on Saturday, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I'm working, I've got this project, that thing, I'm going to this party, that wedding, this thing. Everyone's busy, even to this day, on the Sabbath in our culture. They didn't want people reading the Bible. They were starting to weed that out. Of course, soon in Christian history, they're going to start burning translations and persecuting people who translate the Bible. But it started out early on with just the law. A law, you can read it, but you better not be sitting around. You better be working all day. Here's what a book from the Baptists says. What do Baptists believe? Page 28 and 29. It says, the fourth commandment states, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. The key to understanding this command is to know that the word Sabbath derives from the Hebrew word sabbat, which means to rest or cease from work. Is there a lot of truth so far? Everything true so far? Everything's true so far, but notice what it says next. Here's the mixing of truth with air. The command is not directed at a particular day of the week, but rather that one day out of every week should be set aside to rest from one's labor and to worship God. Whether this day be Saturday or Sunday is not issue. Rather, honoring God by observing a weekly day of rest and worship is what we are, what? Commanded to do. They start off with the truth, but actually it's a partial truth. The fourth commandment does state, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, but is that all it states? And notice, when they don't share the rest of the commandment, all they do is have the first sentence. They don't share the rest of the commandment, and then they follow it up with the lie, which is the commandment. And that takes a lot of guts, don't you think? That's apostasy. They're not saying, well, we don't believe, or our church teaches. They said the commandment itself does not point to a particular day. It says you can do any day. Is that what it says? We'll look at it in a moment. But have you noticed that often anywhere you look at pictures of the Ten Commandments, the fourth commandment is always abbreviated? This is BibleInfo.org, one of the leading websites of Bible information and Bible studies. And everywhere you look on the internet, just Google 10 Commandments. The fourth commandment is always abbreviated. Keep the Sabbath day holy. They never follow up with the rest of the commandment. Even if you don't want to put the rest of the commandment, because it's a little long, the next sentence is really important, but it's always hiding. What is the rest of the commandment? This is the second and third verses of the commandment of the four. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In what? It. Is it about a particular day? A set time? In it, not in whatever time, how you feel, in it, you shall do no work, you, nor your son, your daughter, your male servant, your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is in your gates. And we looked at that in great detail the other night. But notice, it's always abbreviated everywhere you look. And even in that book about what do Baptists believe, they just openly state apostasy. It does not teach us a particular day. The commandment says any day. That's not what it says, is it? The seventh day is not a seventh day, not whatever seventh day, not your seventh day. I have good friends that always say, hey, I hope you have one of your Sabbaths off. It's not my day. It's his day. The seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. Or they'll say, what are you doing on your Sabbath? Well, I don't have a Sabbath, I say. God has a Sabbath. It is directly linked to a particular day. Now notice what else it says on that page from What Do Baptists Believe? The first day of the week is the Lord's Day. It is a Christian institution. You catch that? Christian institution. What are they saying about the Sabbath? That's a Jewish institution, and here we have a Christian institution. Did we find that to be true when we studied the Sabbath? No, it's everybody has the Sabbath, right? But they're saying that the first day is the Lord's Day. It is a Christian institution for regular observance. It commemorates the resurrection of Christ from the dead and should include exercises of worship and spiritual devotion, both public and private. Activities on the Lord's Day should be commensurate with the Christian's conscience under the lordship of Jesus Christ. The Christian's conscience. In other words, you can keep it however you want as long as you're doing it for the Lord. Are any of the laws like that? Can I go sleep around with other women as long as I pray before it? I mean, it's just silly to think that way. I can't pray. You know, a famous evangelist, Doug Batchelor, has a sermon when he was he was out in the world still, but when he was starting to learn of Jesus, before he'd go out and steal, he would pray, Lord, keep me safe. He didn't quite know yet. He was still learning, but he was like, help me be safe, and he'd go out and steal. But if you were a mature Christian, he was just coming in, a mature Christian to think, well, as long as I do it for the Lord, I can do whatever I want. That's just apostasy. But the idea, the first day of the week is the Lord's Day. Is that what the commandment said? They did not say the first day. It said the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. And for anyone who might be thinking, what's the big deal? They're only one day off. No, they're not. The first day and the seventh day. How many days are in a week? There's 7, which means the 2 days are on opposite sides of the week. You cannot get any further away from the seventh day than the first day. It's as far away from the seventh as you can get within a weekly cycle. And it's not the Lord's Day. The commandment is clear, written by the finger of God, but here's Jesus' own words on the subject. Mark 2:28. Therefore, the Son of Man is also Lord of the Sabbath. And yet, it's integrated in our culture everywhere that Sunday is the Lord's Day. For example, in Spanish, Domingo. What does Domingo mean? The day of the Lord. Dominai, the Lord. The day of the Lord. It's not the day of the Lord at all. No matter where we look, we see this idea. Sunday is the first day, and it is the Lord's Day. But it's not the Lord's Day. The commandment says the Sabbath is the Lord's Day. Jesus says it's the Lord's Day. By the way, where they get the phrase the Lord's Day, did you know the book of Revelation or the revelation itself was given on the Lord's Day? Revelation 1 verse 10. I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and I heard behind me a loud voice as of a trumpet. If you let culture define your doctrines, then you can say that this was Sunday when he got the revelation. If you let the Bible decide your doctrines, you know that the revelation was given on the seventh day Sabbath. And because we follow the Bible, we accept that it's a Sabbath, and that's going to play a really important role. There's a reason why Jesus gave the revelation during Sabbath hours. It's going to play a role, but we'll get back to that topic tomorrow. So, since the first day of the week is not the Lord's Day, and this verse is not speaking of Sunday, let's put it to the test. Is there a thus saith the Lord? And this is clear. I want to be really clear. We're not going to go looking for in the Bible for examples where someone might have been keeping Sunday holy. We'll read those verses too. But that's not good enough for us. We want a thus saith the Lord. Who wrote it with his finger? God did with his own finger. So we need Jesus to say that they've moved the day. And I'll even take if one of his disciples says, the Lord told us we have to move the day. That would be fine with me too. Let's see if we find those verses in Scripture. 8 times the first day of the week is spoken about in Scripture. 8 times. The first 5 times are references or historical accounts that Jesus rose from the dead on the first day of the week. We're not going to take time in this series to read those 5, but I put them on your verse handouts. They're the ones that are boxed in a bold square. That way you can read them yourself later. I'm not going to take 5-10 minutes to read all 5, but I put them there so that you can still test what I'm saying. I want you to know we believe wholeheartedly that Jesus was raised on Sunday. In fact, we'll take it a step further. Jesus did the work of the cross. He died on the cross on Friday. He slept, he rested in the tomb on Sabbath, and then as soon as Sabbath was over, when early Sunday morning, he gets up and goes right back to work, modeling the character of the commandment. 6 days are for work, but the seventh is a day of rest. He died, he rested, he went right back to work Sunday morning. So we accept that full-heartedly. And is that an important day that Jesus resurrected? Listen, there's no victory without the resurrection of Jesus. I don't want to demean the resurrection of Jesus. There is no victory. There is no second coming. There's no high priest. There's nothing worth studying in the Bible if Jesus isn't raised from the dead. Did Jesus give us a memorial of his resurrection? It's right behind me. Well, no, not those plants. Behind the plants. Baptism. We die in Christ. And the good news is we don't have to stay under the water, do we? We come out, and we come out living in Jesus, a new creature. We bury our sins. Jesus was buried as sin for us, yes? We are buried. Our sins are then left behind, and we come out resurrected and renewed. Jesus gave us, by example and by teaching, a memorial of the resurrection. It's called baptism. He never once ever says that Sunday is to be kept as a memorial of the resurrection. But there's the first five. They're just telling us that Jesus was raised on the first day of the week. So what about the next three? We better find a thus saith the Lord, or we have to reject the idea that Sunday is sacred. John 20, verse 19 is the sixth reference to the first day of the week. Then, the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood in the midst and said to them, "Peace be with you." I have heard it preached. I've read it in books. You got to turn to John 19. It says that Sunday is the new Sabbath. The disciples were assembled having a church service. I've read it. Have you read it? Have you heard that from people? Can we take a look at the verse? Were they assembled for worship? Does it tell us why they were assembled? Should you just rely on my interpretation or my opinion? Or does it directly, clearly, concisely tell us why they're assembled? It says, the disciples were assembled, why? For fear of the Jews. I wish I still had it. I lost it before there was a digital era. I found a little pamphlet one time, like in a doctor's office, and it was from a non-Sabbath-keeping church, and it was about just salvation and things, but it said one of their tenets, the things they believe, and it said, we believe that Sunday is the day we should worship, and it said, here's why, and it quoted John 20:19, but it stopped halfway through. It said, when the doors were shut where the disciples were assembled, ... It didn't say for the fear of the Jews. They twisted it right there in front, and unfortunately I've lost it. But that's often what happens. Well, John 20:19 says the disciples were assembled. That's enough for me. I'll keep Sunday. But you got to keep reading. For fear of they were not there having a holy communion or a time of worship. If anything, they were being really quiet because they were hiding it for fear that they were next. They had seen Jesus die. They thought they were next. This was not only is this not a thus saith the Lord, it's also not an example of worship. So let's go to the seventh mention of the first day of the week, 7 of 8. Acts 20, verse 7 says this. Now on the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul, ready to depart the next day, spoke to them and continued his message until midnight. Okay, so they got together on the first day of the week. Does it tell us why? To break bread. Why? Paul's leaving, and while he's having this get-together, he preaches. Couple of important things. First of all, the obvious. Does it have a thus saith the Lord, Sunday is now the Sabbath? No, okay, so that's good. What is breaking bread? You can understand that two ways. They're having communion, or they're just having dinner, right? Is there any law that says you can only eat dinner on the Sabbath? No. Is there any law that says you can only have communion on Sabbath? In fact, what day of the week did Jesus institute communion? Thursday. So there's no law that says you can only do that. And in fact, they had a Bible study. What day is today? You're retirees. You don't know what day it is. What's today? It's Tuesday. Did you hear Pastor Phil or the Bible ever teach once you can only read the Bible on Sabbath? No. You can study the Bible, even collectively as a group, have Bible studies any day of the week. In fact, you heard me preach, we should worship Jesus every day of the week. But there's one day where there's special time together in worship, where we're all taking breaks from work and the stresses of life. Listen, some of us had to work today, and then we came into Bible study. Some of us, had stress and drama and things. It's just a regular day of the week, and then we're coming together for Bible study. But there's a special day, the Sabbath, when marriage is struggling, there's a bill to pay, trucks broke down. On Sabbath, you're like, no, not my problem today. We will put that problem aside. We'll pick it up tomorrow. We'll figure it out tomorrow. Today, I am focused on my Lord and my church family, worshiping Him. There's nothing wrong with having Bible studies any day of the week. We can worship every day. But most importantly is this. They got together for this going away party on the first day of the week. There's no thus saith the Lord. Look at Paul. Look what he's doing. He's having a church service because Sabbath is now Sunday. That doesn't take place. In fact, they did this every day. They broke bread and preached Jesus every day of the week. That's what the church should be doing today too. Acts 2:46 and 47. So, continuing daily with one accord in the temple and breaking bread from house to house, they ate their food with gladness and simplicity of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to the church daily those who were being saved. This is an important principle that we really have to take to heart today. We want to add to the church daily, we've got to work daily. And the culture in America is, not even that Sunday is really, they teach that Sunday is the Sabbath, but really it's just Sunday morning, right? You go to church and then it's football, baseball, alcohol, parties, whatever. The rest, and actually alcohol because of the dry laws, right? You can't buy it on Sunday morning, but you can get it, in the afternoon. There's not really a Sabbath to Sunday. But we should have not only a Sabbath, a full 24-hour period from Friday night to Saturday night, but we should be doing the work of the church every single day. If you're at work, you're in traffic, you're in Fry's or Albertsons or Walmart, you should be doing the work of God. And if we were all doing the work of God, people would be saved daily. But since we're one day a week Christians in a culture of America, people aren't being saved like that anymore. We got to get back to the apostolic days where we were busy every day for the Lord. But let's follow, if we're going to follow examples, how about the example of Jesus? What did he do every single Sabbath? Luke 4:16. So he came to Nazareth where he had been brought up, and notice, and as his custom was. So every single time he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up to read. Amen? Follow the example of Jesus. Jesus went, he always was traveling, moving, doing things. He was a carpenter. They were busy. He was doing miracles. But every Sabbath, he paused, stopped wherever he was traveling, and went to church and got involved in church on the Sabbath. That doesn't end at the cross. Here's Paul. Acts 17:2, we read this already in our series. Then Paul, as his custom was, went into them and for 3 Sabbaths reasoned with them from the Scriptures. The example of Paul, so one time he had a going away party on the first day of the week. But every single Sabbath, he was stopping wherever he was traveling, and he was in the church, participating in church on Sabbath for congregational worship. If we're going to weigh examples, let's weigh the examples. Every single Sabbath, one time on a Sunday, he had a going away party. Why switch the law, which is written in stone, because of a one-time going away party? That just doesn't seem right to me. All right, so the 8th time and last time it's mentioned in Scripture. 1 Corinthians 16:2, Paul gives a direction that I think people totally misunderstand. They take it the complete opposite way. He says this, on the first day of the week, let each one of you lay something aside, storing up as he may prosper, that there be no collections when I come. I've read it, I've heard it preached, and I've heard it in Bible studies with me. People say, look, he says, take your offerings on the first day of the week. Obviously, therefore, then they're having services on the first day of the week if they're taking an offering. That's not what it says. He says, take up the offering when I'm not there. When I'm not there. He was coming to town for the congregational worship in Corinth. And so if he's coming to do the congregational worship, but he says, I don't want the offering taken when I'm there, take it on the first day of the week. What's he saying? We're not having our congregational worship then, so take it then. You can imagine what the pressure might have been on Paul if he's having this preaching and teaching time, and then he's like, okay, everyone pause, we're going to take an offering. I'm not saying it's wrong to take an offering during a Bible study, but he's so worried that someone's going to believe, oh, that's it. That's what he's here for. He just wants our money. The traveling evangelist is just coming, preaches a good sermon, takes our money, and then leaves town. He's just here for our money. Do we have that culture today in America? Traveling evangelists who come into town and take money and go? We have that culture. And he's so worried that someone's going to plug their ears to Jesus. He's like, listen, when I'm there, don't take the offering when I'm there. So take it on a day when we're not gathering. And that's the first day of the week. In fact, this is the Corinthians. Do we know the story of when he went to Corinth? It's Acts 18. Notice what day of the week he's there. Acts 18, 1, 4, and 11. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and went to Corinth. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded both Jews and Greeks. And he continued there a year and 6 months, teaching the word of God among them. Does he tell us, does the Bible record what day of the week he was in Corinth? On Sabbath for a year and a half, he was there to preach both to Jews and Greeks, right? He didn't want the offering when he was there. They're not gathering on the first day of the week. What a great day to take the offering, he says. So we find the 8 verses about the first of the week. We've read all of them now. There's nothing we're hiding. You can type it into Bible Gateway, into your Strong's Concordance. Type it in, first day of the week. There are your 8 mentions. Do we find anywhere, thus saith the Lord? We're changing the day. It's the new Sabbath. Nowhere at all is it hinted or said whatsoever. And then you might remember these 2 slides. When we test these 2 slides, did we find that Sunday is a special day of worship? No. Did we find that it's the Lord's Day? No. Did we find it kept by the apostles? No. Is the Sabbath commandment directly stating a particular day? Yes. All of the points they make about the Sabbath are wrong. And sorry to be so blunt, but if they're all wrong, as we've learned, there is no light in them. Especially when you just purposefully twist the commandment. The commandment does not say a particular day, and they hide that in that book. But when you turn to the commandment, it clearly says that there is a particular special day. Let's notice some important quotes now from different churches about the change from Sabbath to Sunday. John Cardinal Gibbons, The Catholic Mirror, he wrote this in 1893. Reason and sense demand the acceptance of one or the other of these alternatives. Now notice the choices. Either Protestantism and the keeping holy of Saturday, or Catholicity and the keeping holy of Sunday. Compromise is impossible. I'm laughing because I always mess up that word. I say it to myself all the time when I know I'm going to preach it, and then I come to it and I always mess it up. It means being Catholic. So here's his options. You can be Protestant, but he says if you're going to be Protestant, which remember, the tenets of the Protestant church, the group, is sola scriptura. by the Bible alone. If you're going to believe in the Bible alone for your doctrines, you must keep Saturday holy. That's the Bible's Sabbath. But if you want to be Catholic, you don't have to keep the Sabbath because they don't believe that you get your doctrines from the Bible alone. They teach that it's the church fathers and tradition first, and then the Bible. And we'll read a quote here in a little bit that proves that point that I just made. And so the church says Sunday is the Sabbath, and so Catholics go to church on Sunday because that's what they believe. It's what the church says to do. But Protestants, we have no excuse. We are sola scriptura, by the Bible alone for our doctrine. That's not the point that, it's the only book we might read or the only book that has good truth. Sermons have good truth. But when we find our doctrine should be proven by the Bible alone. That's the options he tells us. Let's keep reading. Monsignor Louis Segura, plain talk about the Protestantism of today. Catholicity, by the way. The observance of Sunday by the Protestants is homage they pay, in spite of themselves, to the authority of the church. Homage means paying a tribute, paying an offering, paying reverence to. When a Protestant keeps Sunday holy, they are giving an offering not to God, but to the authority of the church. Now, I always remind people, don't shoot the messenger. I know that's tough words to hear, but I'm just reading what they say. The Catholic Church says, listen, you want to be Catholic? They say, if you want to be Catholic, great. We don't follow the Bible alone. But if you're going to be a Protestant, you need to keep Sabbath. If you keep Sunday, you are paying us tribute. You are saying that we are your authority. That's what they're saying. In fact, it continues. Our Sunday Visitor, which is a famous, popular Catholic magazine, says this in 1950. Protestants accept Sunday rather than Saturday as the day for public worship after the Catholic Church made the change. But the Protestant mind does not seem to realize that. In observing Sunday, they are accepting the authority of the spokesman for the church, the Pope. Let's pause for a moment and go back and remind ourselves what the characteristic of the little horn is. He thinks or intends to change times and law. Are they admitting that they believe that they've changed time and law? They've changed time. They don't point to the Bible. They don't point to scriptures. They say, we did it on our own authority. We did it. The church did it. And if you are not a Catholic and you keep the day, you are actually proving that we are your authority. Wow. In fact, notice Catholic Record, another periodical, 1923. Deny the authority of the church, and you have no adequate or reasonable explanation or justification, and I underline this for a reason, for the what? Substitution, the taking the place of, the substitution of Sunday for Saturday in the fourth commandment of God. The church, put your seatbelt on, the church is above the Bible. And this transference of Sabbath observance is proof of that fact. Being a Protestant, I have a major issue. The church, the Seventh-day Adventist church, Pastor Phil himself, none of you out there in the crowd, none of us are above the Bible. The Bible is our sole authority for doctrine. It is where we find from the golden thread of truth, from Genesis to Revelation. You want to believe something from the Bible and make it a doctrine? You better find it throughout the Bible from the beginning to the end. The Bible is our authority that Jesus has left behind for us. And they substitute it in by their own authority because they think they can change times and law. And they say, we dare you to prove anything different. The fact that it's moved, the fact that so many people keep it, is proof that we have the authority to do so. By the way, I even have a problem with that. Is the majority rule in the Bible? So even if people follow it, that doesn't mean it's changed. It doesn't prove anything. They're just keeping the spurious Sabbath. They're keeping the wrong day. They're keeping the church day. But it doesn't actually move the Sabbath. It's just a lie and an apostasy in the church. And by the way, do you catch I had to bracket the word fourth? Because actually in the Catholic record it says third. But for clarity, I changed it to fourth and showed you by the bracket because they believe that's the third commandment because the Catholic 10 Commandments are different. They've taken away the second commandment, the one about not having graven images. You walk into a Catholic basilica or church, what do you see all over the place? You see statues and images all over. They've taken away the second commandment and they've shifted them all up, moving the fourth commandment actually to the third. They think they have the authority to change times and law. In 603 or 604, one of the popes, Pope Gregory, wrote a sermon about the Antichrist. And while he's describing the Antichrist, he brings up the ideas of Sabbath versus Sunday. And I want you to notice what Pope Gregory said. He says this, "It has come to my ears that certain men of perverse spirit have sown among you some things that are wrong and opposed to the holy faith." Okay, what is their example? "So as to forbid any work being done on the Sabbath day. What else can I call these but preachers of Antichrist? Who, when he, the Antichrist, comes, will cause the Sabbath day as well as the Lord's day to be kept free from all work." We're going to come right back to that end section in a moment. First of all, notice, anyone who teaches you to keep the Sabbath is called a perverse spirit and a preacher of Antichrist. If you teach the Bible, he's saying you are perverted and you are Antichrist. It's interesting. He knows that the Antichrist is connected to the teaching of Sabbath. He has it wrong. He has it backwards. But he understands that the Antichrist is connected to the Sabbath commandments. Right? But then he pulls kind of out of left field this idea, when the Antichrist comes, he's going to make us keep both Sabbath and Sunday. That's strange. Let's keep reading. Why does he say the Antichrist will make us keep both Sabbath and Sunday? He continues, "For because he, the Antichrist, pretends to die and rise again, he wishes the Lord's day to be had in reverence. And because he compels the people to Judaize," there's that word again, "that he may bring back the outward right of the law and subject the perfidy of the Jews to himself, he wishes the Sabbath to be observed." Perfidy means the betrayal. He says, now again, his theology is wrong, but he's teaching that the Antichrist is somehow connected to Sabbath versus Sunday. He tells us that the Antichrist will make us keep both, but he tells us why. He's going to make us keep Sunday in reverence. In other words, that's the law. We should do that. And the Antichrist is going to keep us keeping the Sabbath as a betrayal of God and of Christ. He's teaching some truth with error. Does the Antichrist doctrine have something to do with the Sabbath? Yes. And is the Antichrist going to teach that Sunday is reverent? Yes. But is keeping the Sabbath a betrayal of Christ or the following of Christ? So you notice he's mixing truth with error. He's got a lot of truth in there, but he brings in this error and calls those who honor the Bible and honor Jesus perverse and Antichrist. And by the way, I mentioned he's Pope Gregory. Have you seen one of these before? Calendars? You know, the official term is the Gregorian calendar. It's named after Pope Gregory because he was he just had this, he loved the study of chronology and calendars and time. He just loved the study of time. And actually, the calendars we use today are put together by him and his team, and so we call them the Gregorian calendars. He thinks he can change times and law. How about some Protestant denominations? Here is what Joseph Hudson Taylor, he was a world-famous missionary for the Southern Baptist Church. And as he traveled and preached, he was always asked about the Sabbath. So he wrote a whole book. And the book, he tries to prove that Sunday is the Sabbath. But notice what he says, what he admits in the book, page 41. Not once did the disciples apply the Sabbath law to the first day of the week. That folly, what does folly mean? Mistake. That folly was left for a later age, nor did they pretend that the first day supplanted the seventh. While trying to prove that Sunday is the Sabbath, he admits two important things. The disciples didn't keep it as the Sabbath, and it's a mistake that other people started to do it, but we're going to do it anyway. It's kind of like when my wife first learned, she was a teenager, she first learned of the Sabbath. She went back to her church that she was raised in, a non-Sabbath keeping church, and she asked her pastor, her reverend, they call him reverend in that church. She asked her reverend, why do we keep Sunday? And his answer directly, he says to her, Saturday is the Sabbath, but the church tells us to worship on Sunday, and we follow the church. They know the truth. They tell you the truth right there. The disciples never do it. It's a mistake, but we're going to do it anyway. Another Baptist minister was preaching at a convention, and then his sermon was turned into a book. E.T. Hiscox wrote this in 1893. He admits, of course, I quite well know that Sunday did come into use in early Christian history as a religious day, as we learn from Christian fathers and other sources. Do you notice what he doesn't mention? The Bible, right? Fathers and sources, but he doesn't say the Bible tells us that. But he continues, notice this, but what a pity that it comes branded with the mark of paganism. Keep that program for tomorrow. Remember that for tomorrow. We're going to come back to the mark of the beast. But what a pity that it comes branded with the mark of paganism and christened with the name of the sun god, then adopted and sanctified, made holy by the papal, what? Apostasy. He's admitting it's an apostasy. And then his last point, and then bequeathed or given as a sacred legacy, a precedent, a tradition to Protestantism. Is that incredibly strong? That is powerful. They know the truth. He calls it an apostasy. The last slide called it a folly. They know the truth. But the church says it, and we're going to follow the church. Family, I don't want to follow the church. I don't want you to follow the church. I want you to follow Jesus Christ and his word in every decision, not just the Sabbath. This is important to prophecy. That's why we're focused so much on the Sabbath, but it's not the only thing. There's so many ways that we need to follow the Lord Jesus Christ. There is a coup going on in the church. They're trying to take the authority of Christ away. And that's why Protestantism, who keep the doctrines of Catholicism, are the daughters of the harlot. They know it's wrong. They call it an apostasy, but we're going to do it anyway. Just this morning, I had a 30-minute conversation on the phone with a local pastor, a non-Adventist pastor, non-Sabbath-keeping pastor. And 3 times. It was a good conversation, by the way, very good conversation, a lot of fun. It was good getting to know him. But 3 times, since he brought up the Sabbath, 3 times I asked him, would you like to study the Sabbath with me? I would love to study the Sabbath with you. Are you interested? Would you sit down? I think it's really important that you study it. Would you study it with me? 3 different times in the 30 minutes I asked him. Twice he just ignored my request. But the 3rd time I asked, he finally replied to the question. He said, listen, you and I both know that the Catholic Church changed the Sabbath to Sunday. But what do you want me to do about it? I want you to follow Jesus. I want you to follow. And I didn't say that. I said, well, I would like to study that with you. I didn't want to close the door. If I tell him you got to follow Jesus, click. I said, well, I want to study it with you. Are you willing? Are you able? And he wouldn't. But he knows it. They know it. But they don't want to change their lives. That's the power of tradition and the power of precedent in the church. We've got to get rid of these traditions because they're taking us away from Jesus Christ. I told you that on night 1. I told you we'd prove it, and I hope I've proved it to you tonight. We've got to get back to following Jesus. There's a coup going on. They're trying to take away his authority. You know, we've actually had a coup take place in American presidential history. James Garfield, the president, did you know that there was a president named Garfield? He's not just a cat who loves lasagna. There was a president named Garfield. He was shot and killed by this man, Charles Guiteau, specifically because Guiteau wanted the vice president to be president. This was a coup. He was trying to change history. He didn't like that president because in the Republican Party at the time, there were 2 wings of Republicanism. Garfield was on this side, Chester Arthur was on this side, and Guiteau adopted this side, and he purposefully killed Garfield so that Arthur could become president. These are his words as he was arrested after he shot him. I am a stalwart. That's what that wing of Republicanism was called. I am a stalwart of the stalwarts. Arthur is president now. He got his wish. Arthur was president. But Arthur didn't want to be president. He wanted to be vice president because it was the job with the highest fashion. This is actual history, by the way. The job with the largest fashion budget with the least amount of work. And he was a fashion icon, so he had this huge budget to buy the nicest, newest clothes and shoes and belts. You could see by his chops he's got on the side, he wanted to be fashionable. And so he pushed to be vice president because it had the largest fashion budget with the smallest amount of work. And then all of a sudden he was president. He's like, I don't want to be president, that's too much work. And then did nothing the rest of the term during Garfield's term. We've had a coup in America. And we've had it in Christian history. The church, the harlot, has actively, purposefully intended to change God's law, not just for the sake of changing it, not just because they like Sundays better, but to prove their authority over Jesus Christ, the author of the Word of God. But I want you to know there is a rest for you still today, and it's found in Jesus Christ. Hebrews 4, 9, and 10, and then we'll close. There remains, therefore, a rest for the people of God. For he who has entered his rest has himself also ceased from his works as God did from his. Sabbath's not supposed to be about naps. I'm not saying you can't take a nap on it, but it's not about that kind of rest. It's about entering into his rest, a spiritual rest, putting all the stress and problems of the world aside and focusing on Jesus for the full 24 hours to be finding his mercy, his strength, and his love so that you can go out and follow him the next 6 days of work. Let's do that then as a church. And if this is new to you, I'm encouraging you to enter into his rest. Not the world's rest, not the church's authority, his rest. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this lesson. We do accept tonight, collectively, we want to enter into your rest. And Father, you've set aside a particular day, a special day for us to do that. As we have a Sabbath coming up, Lord, I ask that you'll convict our hearts to follow your truth, that we will put time aside, that we will focus on you, that we will prepare in advance for a great and wonderful Sabbath. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.